Yo, what up, Street Dogs? Eric Kim. All right, currently here on the ground in South Korea. So currently at this area called Migum. It's kind of like suburbs. Not even like suburbs. It's like a little bit on the outskirts of Seoul. Still technically part of Seoul, but anyways. So some quick thoughts. So the thought was, I promise I'm so self-conscious. Can't see me outside with at least one of my watches, right? So if you do not know, Eric Kim is actually Korean, specifically Korean American, born in 1988, born in the States, born in San Francisco Hospital, and grew up in the States. And being back here in South Korea now that I'm 34 years old, I got a kid and stuff like that, it's actually really, really fascinating because I mean, a lot of Korean Americans, kind of like my age and my generation, will kind of relate with this, is that growing up, you're never quite Korean enough. And, your Korean's obviously not as fluent as real Korean people and stuff like that. And so there's kind of like a lot of shame culture kind of growing up. Ooh, the new Kia K8 looks pretty cool. And so a lot of the issues about being here in Korea is that you always just feel so self-conscious, right? It's just like, oh, am I gonna say the wrong thing, or am I gonna use the wrong pronunciation, stuff like that. And so even when I was in college, I went to UCLA as undergrad. Excellent. Shout out to my sensei named Jane Kim. She was one of the professors, lecturers there for teaching Korean. And so, I essentially picked up Korean as a minor and went to Korea every summer, practiced my Korean, taught English and stuff like that. So now that I'm here, it's really interesting because, Korea's changed a lot. At this point, I feel like Korea almost feels like America Plus, right? This is like, even be here in the streets of Korea, I don't actually really feel like I'm in Korea. I feel like I'm just like in K-Town, like a really big K-Town, right? More developed K-Town. And actually the good thing is I'm actually a lot less self-conscious about my Korean Americanness. And also nowadays it looks like most Koreans are way better at English too. So I can just say things confidently in English, right? So I stopped by a gym. I'm like, oh, 혹시 day pass 있어요? Do you have a day pass? And then they understand exactly what I mean, right? And so ever since I was in like high school up until now, a lot of it was this overcoming of this like shame I had in not being Korean enough, or my Korean sucks, whatever. But now I just kind of lean into it where I'm like, dude, I'm Korean American, I'm in the States. And then, whenever people may critique me or judge me for my Korean, I'm like, bruh, my English is like a quadrillion times better than yours. So don't judge me, right? And at this point too, it seems that, even most Korean young people, like, what they into? They all wear Nike, listen to hip hop, aspire to wear Yeezys and stuff like that. Ain't no Korean young people wearing Korean local brands and stuff like that. But anyways, and so actually being here in Korea again now is actually really, really good for me. I feel very confident. I kind of like that I look different. Like, got my Lamborghini haircut. I don't look like the typical Korean guy who just looks like BTS with the poofy hair and stuff like that. And so essentially this video is just kind of maybe a shout out, or just kind of like a note to all Asians, Asian Americans, or quote unquote third culture kids, where you're either born in the States or abroad, and you're not born in your native land, I suppose. And to essentially just kind of lean into what you are, and just don't treat it like too much of a big deal, right? Like, even the thing that was so impressive is when I was in Cambodia, I met lots of Cambodians who actually lived and worked abroad in Korea, and they spoke Korean so confidently. It was so nice talking Korean to them because I didn't feel any judgment, because I'm like, yo, they're not Korean, so I'm not gonna feel judged. And so, yeah, I would just say, have more pride in who you are, and you is what you is.